This is Shirebrook Pit, former Shirebrook Pit. Now it's got the nice name of Shirebrook Pit Wood. The wood bit's over there. This is some of the most fantastic wildlife habitat that's been created in Nottinghamshire. Yet it's only just in Nottinghamshire by a matter of yards. The county boundary, if I remember right, is just at the top here. There used to be a little lagoon at the top here, a little ash lagoon. There was a 10-inch stint there once, a number of years ago. We might be going back into the 1990s or the late 1980s. That 10-inch stint could walk around that lagoon and go from Derbyshire to Nottinghamshire and back to Derbyshire again. And if it kept walking around much more, it ended up back in Nottinghamshire. The county boundary crossed the middle of it. Since the closure of Shirebrook Colliery, they created all this. And I featured this area before, but as it's spring, I thought it's nice to show it again, because it's springing into life. We've got the stream that cascades down here round from Shirebrook town itself, comes round the outskirts of the pit and works its way down here. It's a beautiful and beautifully created stream. Absolutely glorious. That stream feeds into here, and I'm a bit concerned about the quality of water because there's a lot of foam where it cascades down there, and there's some foam down here in this first part of the lagoons that it runs into. But you can see the Phragmites reeds that fringe all these lagoons, but these are now starting to appear. The shoots are growing. It's a fabulous bit. Why can't all pit tops have been like this? And the nice thing about all this is that all this area, indeed all of Shirebrook Pit Wood really, is given over to wildlife. There are a succession of pits round right from the far end there where the trees are, and they go up the southern side of Shirebrook Pit Wood. There's about 4 or 5 ponds. The largest is at this end, and they become successively smaller as they go away from that pond. So apart from the fishermen, everything else is just pathways. It's well used by dog walkers, but there's no cafe to bring people here. There's nothing to attract big numbers, so this retains that proper country park feel, a feel that it's given over to the wildlife and to create much needed countryside. Believe me, the pits are far better now than when they were working. You can see from that what a good bit of habitat it is. I'm also concerned in another way now. Unusually at the bottom lagoon there's lots of surface algae. That's never usually there, and the swans have built a nest on this lagoon nearest to us, and that seems to have been abandoned. There's no sign of mute swan here. Maybe all is not so well at Shirebrook Pit Wood. Just along from where I've just been filming, there's some young alders growing in this trackside, partly dry ditch. But already these alders are starting to struggle. Barely have the leaves started to open before they're being attacked, and attacked by a real beauty, I must admit. Relatively few years ago, to have found these was an exception, a really exciting find. The reason being this is the older leaf beetle, Agalastica alni. Only a matter of a couple of decades ago, this beetle was really considered extinct in the UK, but it appeared in the Manchester area and has spread outwards from there ever since. It's now throughout Nottinghamshire, after arriving in Nottinghamshire at Discar Wood. It was found there a number of years ago by Pauline Bradford. We discovered it at Warsaw Main Colliery, a stone's throw from here, but now you can expect this beetle wherever alder grows. Now from this shot you may well get to realise the density at which this beetle lives. The adults overwinter, which these have, usually in the leaf litter and grass tussocks, and then early spring, soon as the weather's warm enough and the first of the leaves start to open, up it comes. This looks as though it's going to be an absolutely bumper year for it, unless we end up getting a very wet spring and the larvae struggle. But within probably a matter of weeks, this small alder will be stripped, and it'll then have to rejuvenate, produce new foliage, and as a consequence of that, trees can't keep doing that year after year. So alder, although it's plentiful, is starting to struggle. We're having quite a problem with alder leaf beetle, and the problem's enhanced by the fact that once it's finished eating all the alder, it will then take on other trees, and it'll eat pretty much anything. Silver birch is a favourite, but also other trees such as hawthorn is used, and goat sallow. Goat sallow is commonly used, and all such trees along this part of the Shirebrook Pit Wood where I am now are all infested to varying degrees by alder leaf beetle. Alder is preferred, and I've had a quick count up on this tree, and there are several hundred just on this tree alone, and I'll show you just how small this tree is. Now, as you can see, above my head there's about 2-3 foot of one shoot. The whole of this small alder is infested and covered with alder leaf beetles. If I just collect a selection, they drop off easy. I'm catching fewer than are remaining on the tree. And within a few seconds, this is the infestation rate typical. There's hundreds more still on this one alder itself. But they are beautiful beetles. Beautiful sort of royal blue or navy blue. Anybody still use the term navy blue now? It's quite amazing how this beetle has done so well. Quite a beautiful picture, once I get out of the way, of course. It's nice to see the former tips being put to good use. I've made comparisons, direct comparisons with this pit top to that of Gedlin. You can't make any comparisons between the two, really. I know they're in different settings and all that, but both pretty much country parks. If not by name, they're meant to be by nature. This one is. Gedlin isn't. Gedlin Country Park is just a municipal country park, just slightly more unkempt. It's got a bloody great road running through it now. This is how all of our pit tops should have been treated. Areas of woodland, which, yes, densely, far too densely planted. So the reason for planting so many whips on these pit tops is to hold the soil in place. And yet they build on them in Nottingham. But it's just a beautiful view. It's a lovely place to come and have a walk round. There's some good invertebrates here. All of this banking that you can see either side was just left. It's full of knapweeds, clovers, wild carrots, vetches, and invertebrates. We're getting towards the latter part of the evening. Sun just over there and just starting to go down. This is a lovely metal bridge to stand on. Perhaps if you were to have a slight complaint, they could have built a stone one. There's enough stone here. But the view down there is just super. The running water, the stream that comes down from behind camera and heads down there. The kids continually dam it at this part here. There are hundreds and hundreds of rocks which have been thrown in. There was always a stream here before all this pit top was developed. This all looks quite different. This banking was higher. It used to be a good site for looking for fossils within the shale on the surface on here. But this stream was here, but only in a small form. Being sandpiper used to regularly winter down, put a little pool at the bottom. And it's nice how those that developed the site used and kept this natural feature. I suppose they had to, with there being a natural spring somewhere just over towards Shirebrook. But they've used it well. They've created some fabulous habitat here. And that's what I love about Shirebrook Pit Wood.